So I just want to first apologize for all of us in the viewing audience
Okay.
because every week the number one complaint that I would see on the timeline is
Too
we need longer
short.
episodes. We need longer
Longer.
episodes. And it's funny. I would also see like tweets in like week 6, week 7, like I know next week's
Yeah.
episode better be an hour long. And I'm like, you all, this show has been so written and shot and in the can that like
Yeah.
the writers are not writing this in real time.
Yeah.
But I don't
Yeah.
think a lot of people really process that. Can you walk us through like the process of developing a season? So i.e. from like, Blue Sky, Breaking Story, like that early writers room stuff until like season premiere. Like how long is that process?
Well, season 1, it was
Well, like,
two and
sorry,
a.
not season one,
Okay.
but just,
Generally,
the
yeah.
season premiere.
Yeah, of course. And I'll just say this so people know like how, because I saw some people being like oh, is it that big a deal that this show is ending? Why is everybody going so hype about it? And people are like, you acting like they just given out HBO shows at the HBO store to every Black person that walks in. Like, this is a big
Listen,
deal. And I love that tweet because I'm just like, exactly, it's a big deal because this doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So it was 2.5 or maybe even 3 years of development before it got picked up to series to start, So
okay.
I'm like, that took a long time. But in general, when you before you've even written the script, you have to decide if the show is half hour, an hour long. So when you're pitching it, you're saying it's a half hour show or it's an hour long show. So when people are like, why is it an hour? It's like, because they sold a half hour show. The money is different. And the money we get is to make a half hour. So you can see a real ghetto hour long show. Or you can see this premium quality ass content for a half hour. Which would you prefer? People will be like, I like the web series, make it an hour.
Right.
So
No.
like, some people
Yeah.
don't care.
Which is
But
a
I'm
testament
like,
to the storytelling, though, I will say.
yeah, thank you. And
Yeah.
I love that. But yeah, it's a half hour show because that's what was pitched. That's what was sold. So it's always gonna be a half hour. And I think we fooled people because our season 1 or 2 finale was an hour. But it was because it was saying goodbye to Lawrence, and we thought it was saying goodbye to Lawrence, and then boop, boop, he came back. But like, that whole closure, the month with Issa, month with Molly, month with Lawrence, it almost required that. So we kind of got to have that, but it never happened again. We never had an hour long like that again. It was just that one time. So just to answer the timeline of it all, for instance, season 5 is an anomaly because of the pandemic. So I don't even want to talk about the timeline for season 5. It was like a year and a bit in the room. It was really bad. So just because of being on Zoom, all the things. But season 4, if I'm not mistaken, holy shit, what is time? I think I can't remember. I think it's like 9 months. I feel like the room started in April and we started shooting in October for a release in July. And we were writing and we almost finished. We didn't finish everything, but we almost finished all the scripts. And so we were still writing like the last 2 or 3. And then we started shooting. And you start cutting them immediately. Like you shoot, and we usually shoot in order. Like season 5 again was an anomaly. We were shooting all over, like scenes from this, scenes from that. It was crazy. But generally, you're shooting episode 1, then episode 2, and the only things you hold is if like, oh, in episode 3 and 5, they both have a scene that takes place at the same place. We're going to hold those and shoot them together at the same time, so we don't have to pay one fee for the location. Which is why it's good to like bank all your episodes first. So there are a couple things like that in season 4, but for the most part, we shot in order. So once you're finished shooting episode 1, you're editing it. So the cut for episode 1 is done, like except for like final mixing, music, like the tiny little details, color correction. But the cut is done before you've even finished shooting the season, So it's like, and then by the time it airs, when episode 1 of season 4 aired, we had already delivered, I think, 4, maybe even 5 episodes that were cut, done, like no more edits being made. So that's what's funny when people are like, I hope they change this. Or like when the condom gate happened, they're like, they heard our note. They clearly heard our note and they put condoms in it now. And I'm like, no, we already shot all this. I'm like, no, we didn't hear your note. Like we already shot it all.
We did not hear your note. We also did not go back and rewrite it, which is also like what I've seen sometimes. I'm just like, these people have so moved on from this. I mean, love their job, but like they're not in the weeds like that. Yeah.
Exactly. But I always am like, oh, those are fans who love the show and don't know TV, how TV works.
Right.
And that's fine, you know, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I get it. Cause even my mom will sometimes be like, well, why can't y'all write this for next week? And I'm like, Mama, we don't finish it.
Yeah, it's done. It's finished. It's written. It's over.